Closing a deal with a workforce management prospect requires not only an effective demo, but a comprehensive discovery process. SwipeClock's technical solutions consultant, Adam Hunsaker, explains his process in this video from our 2017 Mountain Summit.
And I know that a lot of you have expressed to me privately outside that you're a little intimidated to demo our product. I want to empower you. I want to give you confidence that our product is very simple. I am not going to teach you how to demo the product in an hour. That's impossible. One, because it's different every time. Every time I give a demo, it's not the same words, it's not the same cadence, it's not the same issues. And if you get anything out of this course, I want you to internalize the fact that this needs to be personal. If you've seen a common theme of catching the wave, a wave is what? What do you do with a wave? You surf on it, you try to stand up while it knocks you down, you bodyboard on it. The wave is providing the power, not you. And I love our theme here, catch the wave. Because what happens if you don't catch the wave? You get passed by, right? And theoretically here, our wave is the momentum that we're building and the power that we're giving to you, that we ask that you take that and sit on it. Enjoy yourself. Hang 10 all the way in. I have a process. I follow this process every single time, and the number one thing that I like to do is a discovery call. How many of you are spending large amounts of time in your discovery calls? That is your demo, the discovery call. I can't stress how important it is. I have 125 questions, and I want it to be an exchange of data. I do not want it to be an interrogation. Tell me how many employees you have, and tell me why you do this, and tell me how you do that. I want it to flow. And getting people to talk about themselves in America is really weird. My mother is Australian. In Australia, I say, hey man, what do you do? I love motorcycles and hunting, and they don't define themselves by what they do like we do here in America. If I asked you, tell me about yourself, you're going to tell me what you do for a living. I found an interesting thing, and Ken talked about this as well, that people love to talk about themselves with someone who's truly listening. When I get you on a discovery call, that's all I want, is to give you the opportunity to let your passion flow. To tell me what's your pain. And then I take that and I prepare and I provide specific examples. I'm listening for 5 things, just 5. And then that's the 5 that I'm going to show you and nothing more. Could I show you more? You betcha. I could talk your ear off about this software all day long. But I don't. My demos are shorter than anyone else's, briefer, and more succinct. And if you've been to one of my previous classes, you know my close rate. I rarely lose a deal. I take specific workflows. Your pain is different than your pain, and her pain is different than your pain, but it's all the same thing. Does that make sense? Something that you take as a high priority pain point in your life. It's intimate to you. Now, if I talk to 10 people, all those 10 people might say the same thing. The only differentiator is going to be how well I listen to that pain. I don't respect anyone that tells me yes, everything that I ask the question to. Do you? The last time you listened to a demo, someone trying to sell you something, and you were asking, well, this is important to me, does it do that? Yes? Yes, absolutely, 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 absolutely. If I hear about 10 yeses in a row, I start to kind of get a flag. Like, this guy's just going to say yes to anything that I want. I want to hear, well, you know, it doesn't do that as well as some other things do, but we make up for it in this. Or, this will help you solve that problem, and that other one is ancillary and will go away. Okay. This is a slide from Chris Swan's demonstration, and I absolutely love it because it talks about the things that are important to your customers. Okay, you may just sell payroll, but there's also talent management, shared resources. Then there comes the recruiting and the staffing portion of that. The people that I have, can they do the jobs that I need, and they are certified to do so? Okay? In the demo that we saw of the data, the people that had all that overtime, they probably didn't realize they needed to hire some more people. It's all part of it. And I think up to this point, the majority of our partners have provided a checklist. We do payroll and that. You just tell me what's important. That's not sales. That's commodity. That's a convenience store. It's a guy taking your money and giving you a product. You pick the product. You don't get any advice. You need to be a trusted advisor to your people, and that starts with a discovery call. That discovery call is our piece of the pie, our piece of addition to what you're great at. We have solutions that cover not only their workforce, right? Time and attendance, transforming that labor, managing unexpected arrivals, managing compliance and certification, I don't know why I can't say that right. Provide necessary insight. My discovery call tells me which tool I need to solve your problem, okay? Constant cost pressures and limited resources are the number one problem. I'll say that again. Constant cost pressures and limited resources. Every one of us faces that in our daily life as well as in our business life. If you can address this with some semblance of intelligence and a human face to it, that lifestyle that Ken was talking about, that differentiates you and that makes you empowered. Everyone else is scared to demo. I'm scared to demo. Anything could happen. What if you ask me a question I don't know? What if you have a problem that maybe I'm having a bad day and I just really didn't quite listen to? It happens. But if you're real, if you're honest, if you're sincere, those are the people, they gravitate towards that. Humans want to do business with humans, or else robots would handle everything. It's true. An ever-increasing stream of compliance regulations. It's changing constantly. Do you know Nevada doesn't charge taxes? Right? So payroll in Nevada doesn't have to pay taxes, right? So everybody wants that payroll business. Can you auto-deduct lunch? Can you force breaks? Can you skip breaks? Do your employees have to take lunch? You guys have a ton of responsibility here where you can differentiate yourself by knowing your customer. People want to do business with people. People that they care about and that they like, right? You guys, the cost, people keep driving down the price, keep driving down the price, keep driving down the price. Features equal price, right? So if you're trying to compete on price with features, you've already lost. You need to show them why you're different and what value you bring to the table. Why should you be my trusted advisor? Is this your current situation? You're given a demo, you're banging your head on the keyboard. How much longer do I got to say the same thing? I might as well be a robot. I get no satisfaction out of what I do. And your client on the other end of the phone, he's like, yep, that's great. Love it. Oh, that's awesome, yeah. Where are we? Oh, 20 more minutes? All right. You know, you're the fifth demo I've heard this week, the fifth payroll company that's tried to come in here, the fifth person that's tried to get me to go with them. How are you different? Do you think this is how my demos go? Sometimes. Let's be real. I have a little note right by my desk, and it sets me apart as why I'm different. Okay, I'm not the best in the world at demoing software, I told you that before, but I have something that nobody else does. I listen how I wish to be heard. And that's a struggle sometimes. but it's true. How you talk to me, I will treat you the way I hope that you would listen to me when I talk to you. Is this how you sell your product? Here's my product. You want to buy it? Push that piece of paper across the table. Check that box. Here's my product. Please buy it. I am really nice, and I really need a sale. I really need some customers. No. I went to buy a computer, and the guy said, well, here's my product. You can buy it or not, but we both need you know you need it. Is that guy cocky or confident? He's right. I do need it, but I'm not buying it from you because I don't like you. Okay? If he walked up to me and said, Mr. Hunsaker, what can I do to help you choose the right computer for you? What about it is what you need? That's a wholly different guy. It's a whole different approach, and it's the same thing, right? Okay. In my discovery calls, I listen for 5 things. Remember, I told you? Usually it's one of them is a time and attendance. But I want to know why. Everybody punches, but how? Do I show mobile to someone who doesn't trust their employees? Do I show them time clock management for people who don't trust their employees? Yes. I'm listening to your pain because it's unique to you, right? Scheduling. You schedule, you schedule, you schedule, I schedule. I schedule in myself in Outlook. All of you have a schedule right now of some kind. Is it the same as everyone else's? No way. How you schedule is unique, and I want to know that, right? I also want to know who's going to be in my demo. I'm asking you all these questions in the disco, and if you guys want to send me your email, I will send you my 125 questions, okay? I filter them and feather them in, but I do very little talking in our discovery call. How many people listen to your complaints every day? The whole reason Facebook exists, in my opinion, is so that we can complain, right? Give an outlet for that. Your boss really doesn't want to hear it, and you don't usually want to tell your boss, because then, you might seem like an ungrateful employee. But there are things that you wish you could change. If you could talk to someone that would listen to you and then prepare something to fix your problem, is it worth that half an hour? How you practice is how you play, and by failing to prepare, you prepare to fail. Benjamin Franklin figured it out. He's on our money, and he wasn't even a president. Who's going to be on your sales call? Look at these 2 separate individual groups of people. What do you see on the left? Is what they're concerned about the same as those on the right? Maybe a few things, but not all of them. The people on the left, they're your senior management. They're your key decision makers. They're worried about labor cost. They're worried about overtime. They're worried about all the different facets that they have to keep that business open and running. The people on the right, the schedulers, the supervisors, the managers, they have a whole different story to tell you. When I ask for a demo call, I ask specifically to have a scheduler there. Chris Swan taught me this. I ask them, how do you schedule? And why do you schedule it that way? Has anyone ever seen a schedule that comes from like a hospital or CNAs? Okay. How do they do it? Have you ever seen a schedule that's color-coded? Do you know why it's color-coded? Because they've been doing it in Excel for 20 years. And that's how they keep it separate. Your competition is Excel. The schedules, the supervisors, and the managers, they will pipe up in a discovery call if I show them something that will make their life easier that the senior management doesn't even really care about. And they will become my advocate when I've got off the phone with them and they're talking about us. We've got 5 quotes. I sure like that Adam guy, though. And he solved our problems. Guess how often they talk about price to each other? Senior management will say, I'll buy this. Will you use it? I'm not going to buy you something if you're not going to use it. And the managers and the people who are actually doing the work at the company, they don't want software that the senior management loves. They're 2 different priorities. Once I know who's going to be on my call, then I go into my prepared mode. How ready am I to solve the problem? And I think this is where a few of you have expressed to me your concern about your confidence. We have one set of code. We're a SaaS product, software as a service, okay? Or software as a solution, which means we cast a very broad net. We're trying to catch as many fish as we can, and then we wrap that around the individual. If you don't know what makes them different, they're going to slip out of your net. Little nuances in our conversation help me be prepared for a demo. If you call me and you said, I need a demo in an hour, these guys are in a big hurry, guess what my answer is? No, I won't do it. And I'm okay saying no. If I'm not prepared to solve your problem, I shouldn't be showing you a solution. I ask the scheduler to give me a copy of their scheduler, and I copy it exactly. It is not your client's responsibility to use their imagination. It's your job as a solutions consultant, or my job as a solutions consultant, to show it to you. What kind of demonstration is the right approach? Is one size fit all as a fat guy? No. One size definitely does not fit all. Okay? Do you have the appropriate data to show them? You're a municipality. Oh, well, I'm just going to show you the one demo I have for everybody. It happens to be a grocery store, but you can see, data's data, right? No. I want you to be begging me to spin up demos for you. I want each of you to have at least 3 or 4 demos of different types of data. I have a nursing home. I have a security company. I have a restaurant. I have a grocery store. And I have a plain Jane nothing. For that company that's white collar, 9 to 5, they just need some way to track that for the law. Do I need to make it any harder than that? No. I can take each one of those and I can quickly, within 15 minutes, put in their schedule, arrange, massage the data so that it looks like theirs, so it's very familiar. And then I stress ease of use. If you give them too much information, if you make it too complex, if you scare them, that's not motivating them to buy. That's why I only show 5 things and then I shut up. Here are your top 5, your pain, your problem, your needs, your wants. And I show you that and then I'm done. If you wanted to see more, what would happen? You would ask me, hey man, that's great. That really does address our needs. Do you have mobile? Oh yeah, sure do. Do I show it to them? How many of you have listened to someone explaining what they need from you and heard the sales guy, oh yeah, we got that. And they interrupt you. Yeah, we can do that. Oh yeah, we got that. It's in there. I got a little ray gun that makes a little noise. I put it to my head. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Right? I just write it down. Okay. I'm listening again now. Tell me how to bring you into my family. Tell me how to give you what you need. Then I choose from my selection of data the one that closely matches massage it a little bit, and show it to them. So, what should be in your arsenal? What should you have? There are 5 sets of data, and I'll go through those in just a second. Where does my demo come in this process? My demo comes in whenever you need that demo, but I'm still going to stick to my steps. I won't do it before I discover what your problem is, and I won't do it before I prepare the data. I won't do it before I identify 5 things. Take a picture of this or download our 5 styles of data to have. Number 1, statistically, the most requested demo for me, healthcare. Is hospice healthcare? Well, it would be if you went by industry, and I hate the word vertical. Silo fits it a little bit better. Okay? Look at that. Hospitals, nursing homes, elderly care, doctor's office, dentist's office, veterinarians. Anyone that has office staff that needs to be scheduled around a key person, I show them healthcare. Hospitality is second, and that's your travel agencies, your multiple locations, your part-time, your full-time, your shifts, your departments. We do the Kansas City Chiefs payroll for them. They do one of our partners has them. It works everywhere if you show them how it solves the problem. Okay? Retail would be third. They have a lot of transient employees, a lot of part-time, a lot of turnover. They have various shifts. Certifications. Okay, certifications works in each one of these data sets, but only if it's important to them, right? Lifeguards, nurses, concealed carry permits, driver's licenses, plumber's licenses. Those types of things where if you went out and did your job and you didn't have that certificate, or you scheduled someone to work and that certificate wasn't up to date, it's your fault, not theirs. Distributed workforce. This one's a little bit fun. I've got it in there 2 different ways, distributive and distributed workforce, because that's anyone that wants to bill their hours on their time card and have it segregated by what they do, right? So I've got a granite company that does, they started off at the shop, they want to track their mileage and their time to one job from here to there. They want to clock out, clock right back in immediately, and start to the next job. So all that time is chunked together. Then they know how to bill, they know how to schedule, they know how to cover. That's a distributed workforce. Hospice nurses, different industry, same premise. They've got materials in their car, they go from home to home taking care of people on hospice, and that has to be billed to them, and this time has to be billed to them. Do you see what I'm getting at? If I showed a hospice nurse my restaurant, it's not going to be nearly as effective. Okay? Municipalities, schools, corporate, non-exempt and exempt employees, set schedule 9 to 5 every day, never changes, take your lunch when you want. If it's legal, we can auto-deduct lunch for you. We can round to the schedule. We can prompt you for information. That's the demo that most of you have, and it's the last demo in my arsenal. It's the least effective. It is the plainest. Each silo here has some different keys, and you'll see that each one of these 4 that I've keyed on here has a core objective. Where do I get that core objective? The discovery call, thank you. Is your core directive the same as somebody else's core directive? What does triage mean? Prioritization, right? My number 1 problem is overtime. My number 2 problem that I would like to have would be scheduling. My third might be gaps in my coverage. Do you have something that shows and demonstrates each one of those? How we prevent that, how we help solve for those 3 biggest things? Communication to employees back and forth. How many supervisors do you hear tell you that they have to pick up the phone and call people? Or they pass around a piece of paper. Jill needs this time off, and Bob wants to take this time off, and I can't work that shift. Can I trade it with someone else? Or today somebody no-showed to work. And then your manager, your supervisor has to get on the phone and spend hours tracking people down, getting responses, and then it's changed altogether wholly in between the time that all this is going because it's very fluid. Is that a problem? Have you heard that before? How do you fix that? How do you solve that? You tell them you can put the onus back on the employees. They can go in and tell you when their schedule is. They can tell you when they can work. They can tell you what their school schedule is. And if you schedule them when you're not supposed to, it's their fault, not yours anymore. If you need to drop shifts, I can drop it. I want to, as a manager, make sure that that's okay. All I have to do is sit back and wait to look at that alerts box. Here's someone who wants to trade a shift. I approve that. I don't approve that. You still have to work it. I'm sorry. If you can take that all off their plate, I love to ask in my demo. I'll say, what are you going to do with the extra hours you're going to have now at your job? What new skill can you learn? What new thing can you focus on to solve for? My actual demonstration. Starting in TWP or TimeWorks Plus, I show the managers immediate insight to their data. You don't have to go digging through it. How many I have in, how many I have out, how many hours I worked, regular versus overtime. How many of my employees are absent when they were scheduled to be here? How do they want to punch? We have a myriad of ways. We have the smart clock now. We have wall clocks. We have swipe cards. We have mobile application. Well, if I give my employees mobile, how do I know they're not on the couch in their pajamas when they're supposed to be at work? I punched in from my mobile phone and a GPS located myself. Not only is it the right building, it's right above my head in that building on the 5th floor. Extremely accurate. I would know if you're at Starbucks just down the street coming into work and just said, oh, I'm going to be late, I'll punch in now. I can save that. I can put it in an employee jacket and justify terminations. The employee portal, putting it back on them, right? Here is everything that pertains to you that you need to know that you would normally ask your manager for. Your web clock in and out, your time card, your schedule, your time off requests. I want to take a vacation in July. How many hours will I have? That gets asked to supervisors all the time. I can go in here now and I can say on July 5th through the 7th, I want to take a family vacation. How many hours of PTO will I have? And it'll tell me. I don't even have to ask my manager. That communication back and forth is really, really important. So I ask in my discovery, how do you currently communicate with your employees? Carrier pigeons. We pass around a note like it was high school. We put something in the break room and hope that people see it. That's no good, right? That's all I show them in TimeWorks. I don't need to train you how to use it. I just need to know if it will meet your need and it's something you want to buy. If they want to see scheduling, before I launch the scheduler, I show them their time cards by employees in a graphical sense. And it will plot their hours, their overtime, and then the difference, as well as all of their deviations, with one click of a button. Data that to them before is an arduous process at best. Now you just click a button. Show me those deviations. Who do I need to yell at, right? Okay. This is our time simplicity, and I chose the ugliest color I could find. just so that it would stand out. But you can change the colors. Each one of these menus has 5 to 11 different sub-menus. If you've never seen our product and I show you this, what do? Whoa. Okay, and if I start drilling down into this, are you going to remember any of that? Why would you do that on a demo? Never, 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 never. I say, here's your schedule. You can see there are assigned shifts and your open shifts. Here are the changes that have been asked of me to approve. Here's any preferences that might need to be altered by them, because I've put the onus on the employee, because their school hours change and they're part-time and they come and they go and people have kids, and I don't need to keep track of all of that. If certifications are important, right here, it'll tell me if their certificates are going to go out, and it will prevent me from scheduling them. If I have done that and it's an invalid schedule, it'll tell me that right now. I do not open any of this. That's all I show. I put it on there and I leave it on there. And I talk about it. If you, as my customer, express an interest in that, I'll talk a little bit more about it, but not much. I jump right to the employees. You can click on any one of these employees and see their schedule, see their preferences, see their phone number, see how they like to be texted or emailed or both. I can put a picture in there. I can rate them by seniority. I can rate them by distance to the location. I can rate them by who has worked the fewest hours, should be the most eligible if I'm having an overtime problem. And it doesn't require any maths on my part. I show them their schedule with bubbles that point out the problems that they're having and how we're going to solve that. Anyone who's going to be in overtime, it's flagged in red, right there. You'll know before it happens. If you've accidentally scheduled someone twice, okay? Gap management is enormously worrisome. It keeps people up at night. To the point so that people only schedule a week in advance instead of months in advance. Well, I've got my receptionist, and there's 3 stages, and if I show one of them favoritism, so I have to rotate them around. And I've heard some crazy stories. I never want to be a scheduler. But they will tell you a tale of woe, and the longer they tell you and the more pain they just gush up, the more I show them this. Weekly views, monthly views, 68-day views, by department, by date, by work group, by location. I can even show them in a calendar view, which they're all used to, that they post in the break room. If you drop a shift, it warns you. It says, you're still responsible for this until someone picks it up. But it can also warn everybody else who's eligible to work that via their phone that there's a shift available to pick up. You're not on the phone anymore. Worth its weight in gold. I briefly touch on the employee tools if they're interested. If not, I skip it altogether. And I talk to them about mobile notifications. How many of you have employees that never remember when they're supposed to work? Partly because it's a burden on the scheduler, and 2, they're just not that great at remembering their schedule. Every day you get an email or a text. This is your schedule for tomorrow. Don't forget. Once your schedule has been published, and I have to make a change, it only alerts the 2 people that it affects. As you can see there, hey Carrie, I know you were supposed to work from 8 to 5, but we had to bump it. It's now 10 to 6, and it's been added to your schedule. If you have any problems, then contact me as your supervisor. If not, there you go. Do you see the difference in how you normally have been demoing and how we're asking you to demo now? You just have to shake your head. Yeah. Okay, good. If you've done the process right, Sometimes I'll have 2 discovery calls. I follow this process, I allow their passion to flow, and they tell me how to sell them. I am probably the world's dumbest individual, and I can do this really well. It doesn't take talent, it doesn't take intelligence. Like my wife said, don't be charming or witty or intellectual. Stick with what you know, care about people, listen how you want to be heard. If you don't know the difference, I'll show you. Please, be different. Be a solution. The world is full of people who are pointing out the negative. Full of people that are telling you can't do this and you can't do that. Personalize yourself. Create that lifestyle that people want to be involved in. Pair their pain points succinctly and expressly with solutions. Show them data that matches how they currently work. And I promise you, you won't even have to ask for the sale.